Hello, welcome to our news broadcast daily, and following are the headlines.
Festival depicts sea island sovereignty. Journalists Association opposes China's wrongful acts. Business optimism on the rise this year.
Vietnam's sacred sovereignty, borders, seas and islands were the highlight of a festival designed for ethnic groups of Vietnam at the Vietnamese ethnic group village in Dong Mo, Hanoi on June 29th.
Lễ khao lễ thế lính Hoàng Sa, or the Feast and Commemoration Festival for Hoàng Sa soldiers, was staged by fishermen from Lý Sơn Island, Quảng Ngãi Province. The event forms part of the program themes A Great Family of Vietnamese Ethnic Groups with National Construction and Defense. It is a traditional ceremony commemorating sailors of the Hoàng Sa or Paracel Flotilla. The ceremony has been observed through hundreds of years by families in Lý Sơn and many coastal areas in the central province of Quảng Ngãi. Addressing the event, Lâm Văn Khang, deputy head of the Ethnic Group Village Management Board, said the event is a typical festival of Quảng Ngãi Province, showing the spirit of remembering the sources when drinking water, paying tribute to generations of Vietnamese people who spared no effort, even sacrificed themselves to protect the country's sacred sovereignty. According to the Vietnam's feudal state history, the Hoàng Sa Flotilla was set up when Nguyễn Lords began their reign in the south of Vietnam. Thousands of sailors overcome roaring waves and storms to survey sea routes, plant milestones and erect steles, affirming national territory in Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa, and tap marine resources at orders by the Nguyễn Lords.
The Vietnam Journalists Association on June 29th issued a statement requesting China to immediately stop its provocative acts and violations of Vietnam's sea and island sovereignty.
The statement said after China illegally positioned its oil rig in Vietnam's waters on May 10th, the association president sent a letter to the chairman of the All China Journalists Association strongly protesting against China's violations of Vietnam's sovereignty, sovereign rights and jurisdiction. Not only has it not withdrawn the rig, China conducted even more dangerous and serious actions, such as using large vessels to ram against Vietnam's ships, damaging many boats and the equipment, as well as causing danger to the lives of Vietnamese citizens on board. At the same time, it loudly slanders and blames Vietnam. Once again, the association strongly denounces China's provocative acts and demands the Chinese side to respect international law. The association calls on the international press community, including the Chinese press, to understand the situation in a clear and right way and condemn the dangerous provocative actions which infringes international law. The association also reiterated Vietnam's stance on resolving disputes by peaceful means. As part of the latest developments in the EC, on June 29, China kept 106 to 122 ships of various kinds around its steering rig. According to the Vietnam Fisheries Surveillance Department, Chinese ships continue to form a rout against Vietnamese law enforcement ships undertaking their normal missions in Vietnam's waters.
Children in the southern province of Bến Tre discuss issues relating to their rights and state policies for children with local officials at the second annual Children's Forum on June 29th.
The forum, held as part of the Month of Action for Children, focused on the theme of preventing violence against and abuse of children. Students from primary and secondary schools in 9 districts and towns, as well as children from social welfare facilities, presented their opinions and messages regarding issues of their interest, such as beating or exploiting children and discrimination against disadvantaged kids. The forum is held with the aim of making children better aware of their rights and role in society. It also aims to create a chance for government officials and policymakers to understand children's wishes and needs, thus improving the building and implementation of policies targeting children.
over 450 representatives of the local business community attended a conference in Quảng Ninh province on June 28th that discussed coordinated marketing efforts aimed at increasing the investment attractiveness of the province.
Provincial authorities revealed at the conference that 130 delegations of foreign investors, including conglomerates like Las Vegas Sands, Texong and Amata Groups, have conducted recent fighting tours of Quảng Ninh seeking cooperation opportunities. Economic experts dilated on the current investment situation and measures to improve the investment environment, promote trade and tourism, and attract capital inflows into the province. Cumulatively, Quảng Ninh has granted investment licenses to 39 foreign investment projects, capitalized at more than $1 billion, and 205 domestic projects at nearly $5.4 billion. The Provincial Competitiveness Index rose by 16 grades, from 20 in 2012 to 4 in 2013 among 63 cities and provinces. Its annual GDP growth has reached more than 7% over the past 2 years, higher than the national average. The province has always been in the top 5 localities in terms of budget revenue. At the conference, Deputy Prime Minister Hoàng Trung Hải urged the province to further improve its provincial competitiveness index and international economic integration capacity. He said the province needs to build a sustainable socio-economic development model, along with ensuring security and defense by 2020.
Foreign direct investment disbursement saw a modest increase of 0.9% to $5.75 billion in the first half of this year.
However, registered capital in the period declined 35% to $6.85 billion in the review period. According to the Foreign Investment Agency, of the total investments, $4.85 billion came from 656 newly licensed projects, while the remainder was from 290 existing ones. The manufacturing and processing sector absorbs the largest share of FDI. Construction and real estate trading industries ranked second and third respectively. Among the 41 countries and territories investing in Vietnam, the Republic of Korea was the leading source of FDI. It was followed by Hong Kong and Japan. Ho Chi Minh City was the most attractive destination for foreign investors, with $886.3 million, or 13% of the nation's total FDI. It was followed by the southern provinces of Bình Dương and Đồng Nai. Other ideal localities preferred by foreign investors included the northern provinces of Quảng Ninh and Hải Dương and southern Tây Ninh province. During the January to June period, the foreign investor sector generated $47.82 billion from exports, a yearly rise of 17%. Its imports reached $39.29 billion, up 11.4%.
The operation of the low-cost carrier Vietjet Air has been put under special supervision of the Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam following the June 19th incident when a flight of the carrier took passengers to a wrong destination.
The month-long special supervision will cover 4 categories, from the company's organizational structure and personnel, contracts on aircraft use and maintenance, flight control, ground services to operation protocol at departure and arrival airports, as well as pilots' observation of flight regulations. According to the director of the Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam, Lại Xuân Thanh, the airline's compliance with the authority warnings will also be put under close monitoring. On June 19, a Vietjet Air flight, which was supposed to land at Liên Hương Airport in the Central Highlands resort city of Đà Lạt, brought nearly 200 passengers to Cam Ranh Airport near the beach city of Nha Trang in the central province of Khánh Hòa. Right after the incident, Vietjet Air arranged another flight to bring the passengers to Đà Lạt. They arrived at the Liên Hương Airport at 9:50 p.m. the same day.
The National Assembly has adopted a resolution on sustainable poverty reduction until 2020. The resolution targets the reduction of the ratio of the country's poor households to below 5% and that of poor districts to less than 30% by 2015.
In the resolution, policies will be issued to enable the poor to gain easier access to support, while preferential loans will be increased for poor and near-poor people. Also planned is an adjustment in the amount of loans, interest rates and timeframes to sales agriculture, industrial, fisheries and forestry encouragement policies. The resolution applies priority to investment in infrastructure and development, an increase in the quality of human resources for ethnic minority people, poor districts, poor communes, border communes, coastal communes and extremely disadvantaged villages. It also handles granting residential and cultivated land to ethnic minority people, increasing vocational training, job creation and income for poor ethnic minority people who have not received cultivated land support. In terms of medical care, the resolution targets that 90% of near-poor households have access to social health insurance, and 70% of local healthcare stations in communes will be upgraded to provide sufficient social health care insurance services.
Portraits of Vietnamese ethnic groups taken by photographers Sébastien Laval from France and Lê Vương from Vietnam are shown in the Luxembourg Gardens in Paris. The exhibition will run until July 6th.
Entitled 54 Visions of Vietnam, the exhibition showcases monochrome and color photos taken since 1980. They capture portraits and the daily activities of the 54th ethnic groups in Vietnam. A similar exhibition was held last year in the Ho Chi Minh City Museum of Fine Arts as a part of the Vietnam-France celebration of cultural activities. Laval's works in black and white reflect the energy and delights of a young photographer discovering an intriguing exotic world. More than 60 of his works were recently displayed at the Huế Festival. Vương is a highly respected veteran photographer from Hanoi who has dedicated his entire life to taking photos of the country and people, mainly in color. He has traveled throughout the country tirelessly, collecting an archive of memories that show how life is rapidly changing. His works have been exhibited in many European and Asian countries. In Vietnam, they were displayed at the Vietnam Fine Arts Museum in Hanoi.
Hanoi has been named the cheapest destination for a city break this summer in the 4th annual Trip Index Cities released by TripAdvisor, the United States premier travel website.
A city break here will cost tourists $155.3 for a one-night stay in a 4-star hotel during June-August, including round-trip taxi transportation, cocktails for two, and a 2-course dinner paired with a bottle of wine. Jakarta comes in second overall, followed by the Egyptian resort of Sharm el-Sheikh and another Asian capital, Bangkok. Drawing at the top 5 is Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria. Meanwhile, Cape Town in South Africa, the sole African nation in the rankings, was rated at the 6th cheapest city. Mumbai in India and Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia finished 7th and 8th. Prague is in the 9th place and Budapest 10th. London is the most expensive for a city break, costing 3 times more than the average.
The northern coastal province of Quảng Ninh is aiming to become an international tourism hub so as to compete with foreign hotspots.
The target was set in a recently approved master plan on the province's tourism development to 2020. Accordingly, Quảng Ninh aims to rake in annual tourism revenue of $1.5 billion, along with 7.4 million foreign tourist arrivals and 8 million domestic visitors every year by 2020. Tourism earnings are set to account for 10% of the local gross domestic product, twice the current figure over the period. Quảng Ninh province is home to Hạ Long Bay, a good heritage site, and into Buddhist Center, among others popular destinations for visitors. In 2013, the province saw 7.5 million holidaymakers, a year-on-year rise of 7%. It earned $235 million from tourism services.
That is the end of our news. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.